John buys t-shirts. You guys? Monster. What's that? Yeah. You know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I first started doing this question, not as many people did know that.
Yeah, people
Huh?
they say like Monster is the Antichrist.
What?
Like,
Okay, you're out there, man. You're like
there's a video of it.
left field. Okay. All right. Monster t-shirts are $10. Why are they so cheap? Outside of the context of this question,
Because they're making money.
it's, well, that too, child labor in some country where, you know, anyway. Free advertising. Like, why would companies want to make money on t-shirts that say their name? They want it to be everywhere, right? It's like having a commercial on TV you don't pay for. So sell them at cost. Rockstar are $20. They're not thinking as clearly as Monster. Okay, so 2 t-shirts, 2 prices. Doesn't matter what your excuse me, favorite energy drink is. I'll live. John has up to $100 to spend total. Let's make that E nicer. Choices, choices, choices. A. Define the variables. B. Restrictions on variables. C. Write an, what's the name of this chapter? Inequalities. So we saw something like this the other day, but I gave it to you. That's US for you people. Okay, now we got to know how to write it. And finally, then graph it. So I can't fit all this on the same page, unfortunately, right? I'm going to have to flip up and down. Oops. And of course, questions in your book are going to be like 4 times as long as that for words, right? I'm making this as clear and concise and abbreviated as possible. I could add a lot more words in here. But if I do that, it looks really scary and kids don't want to copy it down. Right, Liam? Huh? Are you Liam? Then shush it. Huh? Okay. Define the variables. This isn't hard. It's just you haven't seen it before, so you don't know what to do. I have variables here. I have 2 of them. What's a nice variable to use for a Monster t-shirt? Sounds good to me. You want to use X? Be my guest, right? So M will be Monster and Rockstar. Sounds good to me. some medicine. That's a legal drug, coffee. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's variables, right? X and Y, M and R. That's what I got. What are the restrictions on these variables? That's how much he has to spend, but that has nothing to do with my variables. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but you didn't really answer the question. The restrictions. You remember yesterday we did this stuff? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can I have half a t-shirt?
No.
No. So what are my restrictions on the variables? Can I have negative t-shirts? No. You could owe someone a t-shirt, I guess, if you like threw up on it or something and you had to buy him a new one. But we're not going there. So what's the nicest, can I have, is it real numbers? Is that what my restriction is? Yeah, okay, good, yeah. No integers. Natural, well, what's the difference between N and W? This one has 0. Could I have 0 t-shirts? Yeah, sure. So whole's the best, right? Whole numbers only. Okay, C, the tricky part. I got to write an inequality. So I got a variable of M, I got a variable of R. I don't know how many of these I'm going to buy of each. But if there were no Rockstar t-shirts and I had $100, how many monsters could I get? That's some pretty simple math, isn't it? If there were no monsters, I didn't know I could do that, just like have it disappear by scribbling on it. But anyway, that's kind of cool. If all I had were Rockstar and they're $20 each and I have $100 to spend, how many of those could I get? 5, right? Yeah, okay, so we all know that. But I want an inequality, I want an equation that'll not only do those 2 extreme examples, but everything in between. Because I could have some of these guys and some of those. And yeah, in grade 7, I could give this to grade 7 kids and say, what is every possible combination? And it might take them an hour and a half, but they could come up with the answer, couldn't they? And so then you guys could too, hopefully in like only half an hour. But this is math 11. We don't need to do that. I'm going to make an equation that will take care of that, okay? So, monsters are $10 each. So if I go 10M, that's how much money it will be, right? To each one is $10. So if M is 1, that's $10. If M is 2, that's $20. So on and so on and so on, right? M's the number of monster t-shirts and 10 is the value of each one. Now, I could buy both. I could get Rockstars. They're $20 each. So if I knew how many R Rockstar t-shirts I had, I would just times that by 20 and that would be how much it is, right? And I can get both, but both of these, what does this say? Up to. That's the inequality part. Yeah, could I spend 100? And that's just wording, and that's like English, right? And it's a stupid language, because lots of things don't make sense. But in this case, hopefully that does. That doesn't say less than 100. That means just less than, like this way to you guys. That says up to 100. So I could spend 100. Y'all agree? Okay. So that means this has to be less than or equal to $100. I can't spend more than 100. It's another way to word that. Cannot exceed $100. You can still spend 100, but you can't do 101, which doesn't make sense here. It'd either be 110 or 120. Okay, does that make sense? Great, and if it doesn't, well then you got to memorize this. You're going to get questions that are very, very similar. Okay, it's going to be different variables. Maybe it'll be cheesecake and apple pie, right? And a cheesecake is $5 and an apple pie is $4, and you got $10 to spend between you and your buddy. Same stuff, right? Just different tile. D. I want to graph it. So how do I graph this thing? Okay, just relax. Just hold your horses, okay? Oh, I know. But that was just think to yourself, not yell it out loud. Whole numbers. I only want the first quadrant, right? I got two variables. If you wanted to be x and y, well, you know where those goes. Well, now I got m and r. Well, which one goes where? It doesn't matter. Just so I'm consistent with my notes, I'm going to put r here, and I'm going to put m there. And then, those first two examples I gave you, think of the extremes. If there were no rock star, okay, I don't want any of those. None of my buddies drinks that stuff. I'm going to get all monster. How many could I get? Right. If r is 0, I could get, I'm not even counting. I'm just, okay, this could be blank paper, no squares at all. Who cares? I could get 10 monster shirts, but that means I'd have to have 0 rock star. Okay, you see how that's a coordinate point? All right. What's the other one? Nobody wants monster, they all want rock star today. How many r's could I get? 5, max. So if m is 0, r would be, well, if that's 10, I want to take about half of it, okay? I'm not counting anything. It's just a rough graph. Okay? And then all you do is go, I'm going to make a straight line from here to here. Is it solid or dashed? Solid. Good, thank you. Wow, that was like a chorus. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to use my ruler. And it's still going to be shaky. See, that's digital for you, okay? That's with a ruler. It's still kind of wah, 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 wah. Anyway. Okay? Where's the solution area? Out here? No. Could I spend absolutely nothing? Is that less than or equal to $100? Sure. So, different color. That's a solution point. I know that's a solution point. That's a solution point. How about this one? Okay, and I don't even know what that means. Is that 1, 2? I didn't even do my graph. But I know all this stuff is solutions. Okay? So don't make a sandbox. If I did this on nice graph paper, at each point there, I would be able to clearly see, right? 1, 2, 3. But the point is, that's whole numbers only. I don't want to shade it. It's not continuous. Now, is everything on this line a solution? Yeah. It's a solid line. It is. Right? And there's points like, well, if that were 4 of those, right? Then how many of these could I get? That's 80. I got 20 left over. I could get 2 of those. That is exactly a point on here. And so on and so on and so on. So there's stuff on the line. It has to be a whole number. I can't have half a t-shirt, but there are points right on that line as well. Okay? That's graphed. What did you say? Tax? No tax. Under the table, girl. Okay? All right. 3, 0, I think that's a 4. 7, 8, and 12 when you're done your quiz.